Aid to the Church in Need campaign Candles for Peace in Syria wants to remind everyone, especially this Christmas, that the war in Syria is not over. Almost 8 years of conflict have left 97,000 amputees, 200,000 missing, 13 million refugees and displaced persons, and more than 600,000 dead. It's nearly a decade in which many of the children have known nothing but war.
Even the word, it's very little to express what our children lived through this time.
Sister Annie is part of the Congregation of Jesus and Mary. She was in charge of handing over this candle to Pope Francis. It was lit during the Angelus Prayer for Peace in Syria. This craftsman from Damascus prepared it. The photographs on this candle show the children from Aleppo and Damascus and some of the experiences they've had during war.
When we offered the candle, asking him, he was so touched, and he said, my prayer and concern about Syria.
The war has transformed the work of many religious people in Syria. Sister Annie's congregation in Aleppo has helped hundreds of families survive the war. One of the bloodiest battles of the conflict was fought in this city. However, even though she's had the possibility of leaving, she's never considered leaving Syria.
It's my home, and I don't want to leave my home, my people, my family. And if we leave them in this time, what is the meaning of my vocation? Now, during the war, my vocation has more meaning. It's amazing for me, and if my vocation becomes strong because of their faith, the way they adapt to the situation. And every time we go to visit, the only word they say, thanks be to God. And that's, for me, it stayed in my mind. Oh, with all this very painful experience, yet they say, thanks be to God.
Of the thousands who fled Syria, many are Christians who could no longer endure the hardships of war. An estimated 800,000 have left, 40% of those previously living in the country. Sister Annie assures that although the community is decimated, the faith is far from being extinguished. Instead, it's even more alive.
Many times when we see the church being hit, we will say next day the church will be empty. The opposite, the church will be full of people participating in the Mass or the prayer. And that's a good example of hope for us.
Sister Annie participated in a meeting in Rome organized by Aid to the Church in Need, where she explained how difficult it is to move forward in a Syria torn apart by a war that needs to end as soon as possible.